Oh, it was so hard. In that year, I lost my uncle. He lived in here. And I lost my aunt. She lived in here too. And nobody was allowed to come in to see them, but I went down to tell her goodbye, both of them.
That's just a small excerpt from a project called COVID in the House of Old, a real-life illustration of the effect COVID-19 had on residential care homes in Canada.
A project where I could take my knowledge and understandings about the situation to a broad public and help them get the meaning of it, not just in their heads, but also in their hearts.
Davies is the curator of this multimedia exhibit that's on display at the Millennium Library until next Saturday. The exhibit includes 7 chairs, each with a story of its own.
So some of them hold the stories of people who died. They hold the story of workers.
Through audio recordings, Valentine cards, and artwork, each chair represents a specific person who's been impacted by the pandemic at a residential care home.
An empty chair symbolizes the loss of a person, but at the same time, chairs have their personalities almost, right? And each chair in the exhibit looks different.
As a historian, Davies says it's important to document these stories to encourage people to think critically about our approach to long-term care in Canada.
Another thing that we need to think about when we're thinking about radical futures in elder care is developing, as my stories suggest, a much more person-centered way of delivering care.
According to Stats Canada, during the first 15 months of the pandemic, seniors accounted for 80% of the deaths related to COVID-19.
We're, as a society, COVID really challenged us about care, about self-care, about care of other people.
The exhibit has already been showcased in British Columbia last year. However, as it embarks on its national tour, Davies is encouraging Winnipeggers to get involved.
But what's different for our national 2023 tour is that we want to hear from visitors to the exhibit about their thoughts about elder care and their memories of COVID in long-term care.
In Winnipeg, Sweeta Rassi, City News.